the next presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hawle K12 from MWA, and I will be your moderator for this session. Our today's afternoon first topic is reducing non-revenue water with Hawle that will be presented by Mr. Sven Baumgartner. Before the floor is passing to our speaker of this session, let's get to know our speaker, Sven Baumgartner. Sven has worked in the potable water industry for several years, where he has engaged with engineers, consultants, and purchase departments of water utilities in the areas of Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific. The main topic of this discussion were total cost of ownership of valves and fittings, reducing non-revenue water, and digitalization of water networks. The provided solutions have had long-lasting benefits to the municipality and ultimately citizens who could enjoy clean potable water instead of being obliged to consume bottled water. It is to highlight that this is a live presentation by Sven, and it is welcome for you to key in your questions in the Q&A chat box. Sven will be answering questions after the presentation. I am now pleased to welcome Sven from Hawle Australia Group to start his presentation. Let's welcome Sven.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ho, for the introduction, and good morning from Austria. And basically, let's start with the presentation. My topic for today is reducing non-revenue water with Huble. Huble is an Austrian company manufacturing products for different parts of water networks. First of all, I would like to give you a little overview. Of course, water is our most precious resource. Therefore, non-revenue water is one of the most important topics in the field of water networks, potable water networks. And therefore, I would like to give you a short introduction to the topic of non-revenue water. Of course, I can imagine most of you know the concept, know what is behind this concept. Nevertheless, I think it's good to have a start on a short introduction. Then I would like to present you a non-revenue water calculator tool, which basically gives you an idea on how much water you lose on average. So also that you can quantify this topic, and you can get an idea on the potential areas to work on. And then to conclude the presentation, I would like to present different solutions from our side on different parts of the network. So start the introduction to non-revenue water. Basically water, everything you put in the system, and then you have to divide the authorized consumption. Is it billed or unbilled? That's anyways a consumption that is tracked. What I would like to talk about is the water loss. So basically every consumption that is not authorized and basically that is not tracked. So you have apparent losses, that's unauthorized consumptions, maybe some inaccuracies of metering, and then the main focus, you have the real losses, the leakages. You have small leakages on service lines. You have big and very crucial leakages on transmissions. Therefore, you also need different solutions to tackle different leakage possibilities. Croatia also other parts in Asia, the water loss is significantly higher, and there is a lot of potential for water authorities to optimize and to be more efficient on that section. So as I mentioned, the real losses is the substantial part of non-revenue water. It's the leakages, mainly the leakages on the water transmission, where you have, as a water authority, as I mentioned, we have created authorities can use it to be reduced every year to then also budget accordingly and to shift budgets also from investing into capex, and getting the money from OPEX. Basically the three different types of leakages. As I mentioned, the big leakages on transmission lines where a pipe breaks or a valve is not working. Those are reported leakages because water authorities will immediately know this. You have a huge pressure reduction in the pipeline. You immediately know something is wrong and you have to react very quickly. What is more tricky are the unreported leakages. Sometimes you can detect them, sometimes not. This depends then in which position of the pipeline they occur. You have also pressure reduction. You have different tools for leakage detection. There are different solutions on the market. But as I said, sometimes also those you can't detect. And then what is really interesting are the background leakages. They are unreported and they are also undetectable with the traditional acoustic equipment and the traditional solutions. But those leakages over time can cause huge trouble. They cost over time. The small leakages, they can create basically the collapsing of roads and also paveways. So it's very crucial to focus on those areas. As well here, as I mentioned, the main source for those leakages are the house connections. That means the saddles, service valves, and then the service pipelines. To give you a quick overview now on the non-revenue water calculator as a first step for water authorities to quantify the non-revenue water, I want to present this calculator. Basically, what we have done is we've taken different potential sizes of leakages. Then, of course, the water flow, the water rates, and then roughly the average water price. So you already have an idea, okay, with different pressure ratings, what is the average loss every year? And then, of course, how much money is lost every year. Here's an example of Austria with a water price of 1.65 in this example, where you see, okay, with 5 bar, with 10 bar, with 16 bar, and then also the size of the hole. So from 0.5 square millimeter, how much money do I lose? And then you can see the bigger the hole gets. It's still very small holes, but just a few differences, how much money can be lost every year with those small leakages. Here you can see the non-revenue water calculator, where basically you put in, okay, you know how much water you produce every year, you know how much water you bill every year, and roughly you know your water loss already, roughly how many percentages, and of course you know your water price, and then you get as an outcome an annual monetary loss. And with this number, then you can say, okay, right now I have 30% water loss, non-revenue water. How much money do I save if I just reduce this by 1%, by 2%, because I use higher quality products and different solutions, especially on the house connection area. And here you can see just by 2%, you already save 120 million euros every year, which is a huge saving, what you have. And with this saving, of course, you can invest in higher quality products, which then, of course, in the long run will save you water and eventually also money. And for us specifically as a Hawle group, as a manufacturer of valves and fittings, from the source until the house, we give a 10 years full warranty on the products, and then of course this adds up as well, and your savings are even higher because the products are fully covered for at least 10 years. Now I want to present you some solutions from our side, to give you an idea, okay, where are the areas, the current systems can be changed, and different solutions can be used. So we have, as I mentioned, we are a manufacturer of valves and fittings. So basically we manufacture from the source until the house connection all types of valves, of pipe connections, and also we have digital solutions as well. I would like to give you an overview. Pipe materials, of course, are different. On the market, there are different types of pipes, and of course, it's then hard when you have to repair pipelines. You have different materials. How to do? You can't weld because maybe you have a steel pipe needs to be connected with PE, and so on. So we have a multi-range coupling that can fit all common types of pipes. It's very easy to install. It's reliable, and it's of course then reducing costs because it's very efficient. In a few minutes, this is installed. There is no leakage, and you can connect different types of pipes. Especially, as I mentioned, from cast iron to PE, or from steel to PE, concrete, protect of the pipes. This is by this coupling. How this can look. Okay, sorry for the internet connection. I was lost. So here, basically, you see the product in action. As I mentioned, mainly used for repair work, where you have to connect old pipes and new pipes. Dedicated product is this Syno 2000, where you have on one side the multi-range connection for any type of pipe, and on the other side you have a dedicated PE pipe socket. As usually new pipes are mainly out of PE or PVC. Of course, in Asia, we have done several projects over the last years, especially Philippines and Indonesia. As you can see, the products we have used mainly on HDPE pipes, connecting with steel, and also ductile iron, of course. Another product we have is encapsulation collars. This product then is mainly used for the big transmission lines. When you have the big leakages where you have to react very fast, we have a repair product that is basically an encapsulation collar. So you put it on top of the pipe and you immediately cover the leakage, and you don't have to shut down your pipeline. This is saving you time, is saving you money. The customers, they are not without water, so they still have the water in their houses, and you can be very efficient with this product as well. Again, some examples to give you an idea how it's then installed in real life. Those examples are from the Philippines, where over the past 2 years, I think, we supplied hundreds of those couplings. They were installed during typhoons, no problem. As you can see on the left-hand side, they are installed when the trench is basically full of water, no problem, because it's tightening screws, and then the product is ready to go. It's again a restraint coupling, and a very efficient way to solve those big leakages. Then the most crucial part for the small leakages are the house connections. Traditional ways is a threaded connection from the pipe, maybe via a saddle, or immediately a thread drilled into the pipe, and then having a normally brass metal valve, and then you go with the smaller service pipes to the houses. Of course, thread is always a risk for corrosion. You have blank spots, and then the leakages start, and then you have the small leakages you don't detect, and they will create big problems. We have created a so-called CAK system. It's a Bionet system. You don't have any blank space. It's just push in, very easy to install, and you basically have zero risk of any leakages on those connections. As you can see here, the installation very easy, very quick, and you don't have any blank spots, and you can be very relaxed when you install those products, because there is 0% leakage. Also for the employees, very easy to install. As I mentioned, it's basically just pushing in, and threadless, and you have a 100% sealing, because it's designed with the double O-ring, where one O-ring is basically just for protection. Different models, so you have different types of saddles for different types of pipes, different versions of the service valves then, which are installed on top of it. So you're also very flexible depending on your needs and on the actual application. Very flexible, and therefore very time saving, and you can react on different applications. As I mentioned, the portfolio is very big. We have saddles, we have the shut-off devices, the valves, and of course we have different types of fittings for the smaller pipes. Here is one example of an under pressure drilling done by PUB in Singapore. So basically they used our saddles and the service valves for the house connections for a certain section where they had to be very fast. So the distribution line, there was no shut off. It was an under pressure drilling, and of course, after monitoring it over half a year, there was no issue, no risk. Comparing their traditional method, normally after 1 or 2 months, they already, when they check, they already can see some small leakages. Also done very easy. So the training of those 2 employees took 1 hour beforehand, and then they were already ready to go to do it themselves. Very efficient. And to conclude my presentation, I would like to just give an overview on our digital solutions. So of course, we're also focusing on the digital part in tackling non-revenue water. And we have our own company as a startup, which is just focusing on different solutions. So we have created a Hawle Map. It's basically connected to Google Maps, where you can track your products in this application. You know, are the products functioning? Are they not functioning? What is the nearest hydrant, which especially in Europe is very important, because hydrants by law need to be close to certain areas. You always need to have them accessible. And another big topic, of course, is then the actual leak detection, where also we have some devices for the traditional methods. As I mentioned, it's in this Hawle Map, you have your products, and you know where are they located, are they working, or when were they used the last time. And we have created an additional device. It's called Huble LiveKey, and it's basically a smart gate valve monitoring. So with this product, the employee goes on site, basically he checks his phone. He knows, okay, there is a gate valve. He has to check it, or it has to be closed because of some repair work. So he already knows it by using the Hawle Map, and then he uses the Huble LiveKey to operate it. And then also, as a utility, you then get a report. So also, you know, okay, this gate valve was operated, it worked, you have it in your system, and you're always up to date. The features, it can be used for any type of gate valve, so it doesn't need to be, from us. It's very easy with the ratchet or also actuator. It has an intelligent status bar. I will show you on the next slide. And of course, it has the integration into the Hawle Map. So for the employee using the key, he has different types of application of indications, where also then he can see, okay, is it closed? Is it open? Maybe wrong gate valve or wrong direction. So he gets an idea as well. Then the integration into our Hawle Map is very important for the visualization. You always are 24/7, you are live, you have the live feedback, and you always know what's going on in your water network. And basically the workflow is the office basically looks into the Hawle Map, creates a workflow, creates some tasks, some checking of gate valves. And this goes then on the phone of the employee on site. They are using the live key, operating it, and the report goes back to the office. And it's always reported. It can always be looked into, and it's basically always a live feedback. Well, that was it. And as Benjamin Franklin said, when the well is dry, we know the worth of water. So very important to focus on non-revenue water, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I'm happy to answer your questions, and then also later on to keep in contact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sven, for your presentation on reducing non-revenue water with Hawle. And now we invite Sven for the 10 minutes Q&A session. Do we receive any question now? No? If no, then may I actually ask a question? Because I'm very new into the water and I am a wastewater treatment operator. So would like to just to know whether this WAF that you have just presented just now, what will be the maintenance requirement? And is there any schedule requirement, the schedule maintenance required?
It's that is always related to regional laws. So, for example, in Europe, we have a standard that basically says you should operate a valve once a year at least. However, our valves, there is no problem if you only operate them once in 5 years. Because of the technique and the technology we use, that is perfectly fine as well.
Oh, I see. All right. Then the other one is just now that you did, I did see you have shown installation by POB, operator. You means just now there is a video sending to them on how to install it and they are able to do it just like that?
No, the video was just recorded by myself. So we also offer for utilities like PUB, myself and a colleague together. Can you hear me now again?
Yes, now it's better.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, my internet connection is really. I'm somewhere in the mountains in Austria. Sorry, but what I wanted to say is no. We for us as Hawle, we also offer on-site training.
On-site training.
A colleague of mine and myself, we went to Singapore. We took the machines with us. We did a training in the morning, and then in the afternoon we just oversaw the application and they did it themselves. Yeah.
I see. So there will be a technical supporting team provided from Hawle to do the installations, right?
Correct. Yes, correct.
So in Southeast Asia, do you have any of the supporting team, or you have to fly over from Austria?
No. So basically in Asia, especially Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, we have distributors. Local distributors, and they are trained by us. So, for example, in the Philippines, we have spent a lot of time with the distributor so that he can install the products, and then the distributor is already on a level where basically via video conference, because right now with COVID traveling is not possible, he can do it himself, and he basically did applications with Manila Water, with Maynilad Water, Prime Water. Yeah. So normally we have the local support with our distributors. Yeah.
All right. So your local distributor is also able to provide all kinds of technical support until they need a special requirement from your side, is it?
Correct. Yes.
All right. Then it's true that it will help for the local problems to be solved as soon as possible, as an operator is always worried about this.
Yes, of course. You need to react very quickly.
Yes. So do we still receive any question from now? Or I think if from our participants, if you have any questions, then you can also email to the MIWC program. Okay, there's a question coming. How do you import the data recorded by the WAF key into the client's GIS? Has your company completed any projects in Australia?
The data can be, it's basically on a wireless technology. So we can, and we have our own team of software engineers. So we can, together with a company, we can create the connection points into their systems. So as I said, because we have our own software engineers, but normally it's based on a wireless technology, and of course we encourage that our Hawle Map is used, which then of course is based on Google Maps anyways. And in Australia, regarding the digital side, we are starting. However, in Australia, we have done a lot of projects. So our partner in Australia is located in Brisbane. It's called High Grade Water. And in terms of products, we have, over the last years, we've completed a lot of projects. Also for digitalization of air valves and so on, we are now starting to push this.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Sven, for your answer to the question from Stuart Stepley. So far, I think this is the only question that we received. I think any future question can also email to the organizer, and from there we will also forward the informations and the questions to Sven to answer. Right. I think we will end from here, and our next section will be starting at 3:30 p.m. And thank you very much for the attending.